It's another episode of Fighting Saints Weekly right here on the YouTube channel. Hi, everyone. Jordan Coons with you. Thanks for tuning in for this as the Fighting Saints split this past weekend, a loss in Des Moines and then a victory in Bloomington. Certainly an interesting weekend, and we'll hop into the highlights in just a bit. But we do have some news to pass along to you in the meantime. A couple of special events coming up here with the Fighting Saints that we're excited about having here this season. It all starts with this Saturday when the Chicago Steel come to town. It'll be Chicago Blackhawks night as the Fighting Saints will take on Chicago. And Tommy Hawk, the mascot for the Blackhawks, will be here and take part in the night's promotions and also be able to take some pictures with the fans that are here. Also the week after that, that being on November the 13th, will be our Military Appreciation Night, which will take place against the Madison Capitals. Special uniforms to be auctioned off after the game, as well as a pregame ceremony at 5:30, off to a good cause benefiting veterans and their causes. So good things coming up with the Fighting Saints here in the next couple of weeks as they finally return home after an away game on Friday. But again, we'll get to that in just a bit. On top of the Eastern Conference, again, seemingly this team finding ways to win, and even when they lost on Friday against Des Moines, anybody that was challenging them for that top spot lost as well. So good news on that end, and picking up the victory on Saturday, which was big for this team right now. We will chat with Jakob Romo later in the program after these highlights as he picked up his first goal of the season and first USHL goal, a guy who has been hampered by injuries throughout his career here. So good on him to get his first tally of the season. We'll chat with him. But first, let's take a look back at this past weekend, first in Des Moines and then in Bloomington. It all began in Des Moines on Friday as the Fighting Saints squared off with the Buccaneers for the first time this season. The Fighting Saints get on the board first, and it's Mitchell Smith who picks up his third goal of the season. A nice dish from Gordy Green to get that one across, and it makes it 1-0 Dubuque Fighting Saints. They continue the offense as Nathan Soucies gets on the board. Keegan Ford out of the penalty box sets him up nicely on a breakaway, and on his signature backhand puts it through Jan Ruzicka. 2-0 Dubuque. Des Moines made a furious push after that, beginning with the end of the first period. Patrick Grasso, Des Moines' leading scorer, pounces on a loose puck at the side of the net. He slips one through. 2-1. Dubuque still leads. It would be tied, however, when Wyatt Bongiovanni roofs a shot from the side of the net on a centering pass over the shoulder of Jackson Castor, knotted up at 2. Zach Jordan puts the Bucks on top in the third period, taking full advantage of a Fighting Saints defensive zone turnover deep in their own end, right in the slot that made it 3-2. Georgi Gorodetsky capped the scoring, taking a centering pass in the high slot, making do with his chance. 4-2, the final score from Des Moines. The Bucks take this one. Dubuque Fighting Saints would look to rebound on Saturday. It was a quick turnaround for a Halloween matinee. Dubuque strikes first again, and this time it's Petter Makatalo, who is the recipient of a nice dish from Willie Neerum in the high slot. No mistake, 1-0 Saints. They would pour it on here in the first period as just 23 seconds later, Jakob Romo tallies his first USHL goal on a pass from behind the net by Trey Dodd. 2-0, good guys. They would not relent. 4 minutes later, a point shot deflected through a beleaguered Hayden Levine by Romo again, his second of the game and second of the season and second of his USHL career. 3-0 Dubuque Fighting Saints. Bloomington would make a goaltending change, and that changed a lot, as with the night prior, Bloomington climbed back in the conversation with a late first period goal. Tarek Baker stripped the puck from Nathan Soucies while shorthanded, walks in with a gorgeous move, and scores 3-1 Dubuque. It would take another 25 minutes for Bloomington to score again. An acrobatic windmill save by Hunter Miska stopped the first chance, but Brett Gober slammed the shot home on the left side into the net on the power play. The Thunder cut the lead to 1. With 8 minutes remaining in the third period, Logan Lambden this time would split the defense and walk in on goal. A pretty move, stashing it home. Tie game at 3. Regulation would solve nothing, and so overtime. A familiar face, however, ended the action. The call of the week, right here.
On the rush, 2 against 3. Makatalo splits the defense again, but just couldn't get through. Takes the pass back, has him in the slot. Ford shoots, scores! Keegan Ford, the overtime winner, and the Fighting Saints win.
Back with Jakob Romo, forward for the Dubuque Fighting Saints. It took a while, but not by your own fault. You get your first USHL goal. How did it feel?
It's a surreal feeling, and I was just happy to finally get it out of the way.
Not one, but two. The one came 30 seconds after the first goal scored, and then it took a little bit for the second one, but two completely different plays. Would you term yourself as a guy who's an opportunist or a playmaker in your sense?
I'd like to say I'm a playmaker, but I can finish on my chances and put the puck in the net when I need to.
Trey Dodd put that one on a tee for you on the first one, but the second one, you had to do a little bit of work for that one.
It was a lucky tip, but it got it into the net, so that's all that matters.
Seemed like a pretty innocuous shot coming from the point, and you just kind of got a stick on it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that one was going in or no?
I just wanted to redirect it towards the net, and it just found a way in.
So it's taken a little bit here after coming off the early season injury. You're back to 100%, and how do you really feel out there now that you're getting back in the swing of things?
I'm just happy to be back out there and go through the process to help us win.
So coming up, Madison and Chicago. Tale of two different teams, but does the process change at all for you guys?
Team-wise, no. We're going to keep going out there and work hard and do what we got to do, but the systems change a little bit, and our coaches do a good job of letting us know what we need to do out there.
Well, Jake, thanks for this.
Thanks.
Lots of exciting events coming up with the Dubuque Fighting Saints as they have finally returning home after this road trip, which will conclude on Friday, a game in Madison, which will be at 7:05. You can catch all the action on Super Hits 106. But as for Saturday, the Fighting Saints will be hosting Chicago Blackhawks Night, which is sponsored by Dubuque Fire Equipment and WJOD. That will be this Saturday, November the 7th, a 7:05 start. It will also be a TH Media Family 4-pack game. Aside from that, the Fighting Saints will also be hosting Military Appreciation Night. That'll be on November the 13th. As the Fighting Saints host the Madison Capitals. That'll be sponsored by Quick Stop Dairy Queen Fazoli's, along with media partner 1011 The River. There will also be a pregame ceremony at the Veterans Memorial Plaza at 5:30 before the game, as well as special camo uniforms, which are sponsored by the Dubuque County Commission of Veterans Affairs, which will benefit the Veterans Freedom Center. Veterans Freedom Center helping out veterans and their families, assessing all of their needs here in this community. So to a good cause, an auction after the game. Stick around for that. Aside from that, the Fighting Saints are also a part of No Shave November, along with Unity Point Health Finley Hospital, where we will have our beards growing out throughout the entire month. Looking forward to that. I know I can grow a pretty good one, but I want to get your thoughts. Who will have the best beard on this team by the end of the month? My vote is actually on our guest here on the program, Jakob Romo. But again, that's just me. So some games coming up this weekend. First on Friday, 7:05 in Madison on Super Hits 106, as well as Saturday here against Chicago for Chicago Blackhawks night. And that will wrap it up here on Fighting Saints Weekly. Jordan Kuhn signing off, saying so long. We will talk to you throughout the week, and we'll see you here on Saturday as the Fighting Saints finally return home. So long.